if you are a young lady and you have had access, which is not bizarre, previous sex partners, not one, not two, and you are not married to any one of them, you have no single fear as to whether or not that will rub on the identity of your baby as far as the genetic material is concerned. If your husband takes the baby to Australia, let him take his son to Asia, let him take the daughter to US. In as much your husband is the one that impregnated you to father those children, the DNA will prove you non-guilty. Let me give you a scenario. There was this one of my staff back in the day. He went out one of these weekends and incidentally ran into one of his ex. My staff is the male partner, right? He ran on the road into a female ex. And while they were talking, as a family, you should be married now. And incidentally, the lady even got married before my staff. While they were running pictures and catching up with old memories, firstborn, secondborn. By the time they got to the third one of the lady, the baby looked exactly like one of my staff. Wow. By record, they have dated back in the days when they were in university. The two of them have gone their separate ways. The lady got married well before the guy. The guy went on to form a family. By the time the guy saw the third one of the lady, if my wife sees this, I'm in trouble. These are people that have gone their separate ways years back. How come? The third born, imagine how long ago, the third born of your former girlfriend looking like you is a wake-up call for us. What you just talk about when it comes to the DNA and all that, there's no issue at all with the DNA. If it's the man's sperm that fertilized the egg, that became the embryo, and invariably the baby, the newborn, there's no DNA issues, except the woman has some explanations to give. But when it comes to microchimerism and all that, it's a known phenomenon. The fetal blood cells, the DNA, free roaming DNA, can pass to the mother. That has nothing to do with anybody. It might later in the future breed any challenge in terms of disease to the woman and all that, but it has nothing to do with the baby. The baby will bear the father's DNA and it will have a healthy life. The essence of all this in this episode is just a cautionary measure because research are coming out. And we are now seeing in a neighborhood that someone who dated somebody long ago, the lady now has a child. That's physical trait. As a man, she once dated who did not impregnate her.
Hi there. You are welcome to another episode of Omega Fertility Podcast with Dr. Abraham Fasasi. I'm your host, Dayo Cohen. Do follow us on all our social media handles, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and visit our website, omegagoldenfertility.com. Our 24/7 helplines are there for you. They are scrolling on the bottom of your screen. Thank you. In today's episode, we'll be talking about the science, ethics, and public implications of sexual history. Thank you very much. Doctor, you are welcome to today's episode. The last time we talked a lot and you always made us part of your research program. I love your explanations.
Yeah, thank you.
But last episode, we talked about couples resembling each other. But today, I want us to take our time to remove the fears of single or young ones who have had so many sexual partners. And they are worried that will the trace of the female fluid affect their offspring. I want us to break it down so that we will allay their fear of this seminal fluid remaining in their body system and affecting their baby.
Oh, thank you very much. And so good to have you again today. The last episode is not an attack, like I said, on anyone or to create unnecessary worry, but rather it is an admonition, a call for caution, wherein tomorrow science is unfolding. It never stops. Things keep coming out. And you find out that this, and that are not possible. If you don't tidy up your loose end, where will you be? We have demonstrated from findings of Southwell universities in Australia, also the one did in Oxford, and the one from years before we're even born at all, that non-genetic materials that are not DNA can be retained and be passed in another generation to show. So if you are a young lady and you have had access, which is not bizarre, previous sex partners, not one, not two, and you are not married to any one of them, you have no single fear as to whether or not that will rub on the identity of your baby as far as the genetic material is concerned. If your husband takes the baby to Australia, let him take his son to Asia. Let him take the daughter to US. In as much your husband is the one that impregnated you to father those children, the DNA will prove you non-guilty. But you, who knows who you are dated in the past, who your husband never met or knew or get to know at any point, might say, this baby has size of physique related to so person in your mind. But the baby is your husband's, since he's the one that impregnated you. The DNA findings will show 98, 96, 99% paternity when it comes to so and so. When it comes to Benga Olomola, it has been found and proven by DNA diagnostics that this baby is yours. So you have no fear. Your husband has no fear. We all have past. But we now come to know that our past can be brought forward in non-genetic way. And as such, as seen in the current experiment and research findings of other mammals, in another generation, in other scientific findings, in other scientific research, it might be coming to human being. So don't say you were not told. If Aristotle has talked about this as far back as 14th century, if some marriages were held because of what? The throne, that the man would not marry a woman that has been married to somebody before, or that has had previous sex partner, that it is possible that the genetic materials, the cells, secretions of the last man be retained in the woman. And researchers are still coming forward. You may from there just choose to reduce as many men will have access to you before you end up being married, such that the baby you're going to have tomorrow will not look like Ifeanyi or Benga or Adamu that you have dated before this your new husband, or this your newly found husband. You understand me?
I want us to allay the fear of a man also, that we always tell the wife that this child does not look like me. How do we respond to that?
That's a very funny scenario. Because you are the father of the child in any event, doesn't mean people look like you as a man.
What?
That's a fact. You have your baby, he might look like you. He or she might look like your wife. He or she might look like your wife's sister. He or she might look like one of your siblings. Why do Yoruba people call the baby Babatunde, Yetunde, and all that? Apart from the fact that someone just died and a newborn just came to the world. Physically, he resembles also person other than the mother and the father. For men that have fear or any challenge, what you can do basically is take your baby for DNA. And once the DNA test proves that you are 80%, 90% the father, what more do you need? That's scientific evidence. We're just telling you that because the baby does not look exactly like you, it doesn't mean you are not the father. All right? And it's also an admonition for our modern generation women, modern generation ladies, to be. You don't have to check all men. Our young women who are thinking of starting a new page in their life as far as childbearing is concerned, you really don't have to come back and tell us all men are the same, like they used to say. Nobody asks you to check all men out. Pick the one you want to pick and move on with life. Because the one you experiment with, even though you didn't have a baby for him, by the time you have your baby born, even though the DNA test showed it's your husband, you might come back tomorrow and science will say this is already happening in women, in humans, and the baby will showcase what? The trait of your past sexual partner. Let me give you a scenario. There was this one of my staff back in the day. He went out one of these weekends and incidentally ran into one of his ex. My staff is the male partner, right? He ran on the road into a female ex. And while they were talking, as the family should be married now, and incidentally, the lady even got married before my staff. While they were running pictures and catching up with old memories, firstborn, secondborn. By the time they got to the third one of the lady, the baby looked exactly like one of my staff.
Wow.
By record, they have dated back in the days when they were in university. The two of them have gone their separate ways. The lady got married well before the guy. The guy went on to form a family. By the time the guy saw the third born of the lady, if my wife sees this, I'm in trouble. These are people that have gone their separate ways years back. How come? The third born, imagine how long ago, the third born of your former girlfriend looking like you. It's a wake-up call for us. A lot is in the pipe coming out. We might not be dwelling so much into heavy research, heavily funded research in this part of the world. It doesn't mean it's not happening in other parts of the world. And by the time these are coming out, we call it the recent advances. By the time these findings are coming out, we might begin to know more than we know today or yesterday. And it's going to be good we live our life as female in the way that our past doesn't rub over the joy of today or tomorrow. Thank you.
In other words, doctor, the past will surely come to bear on the present and the future. So our women needs to be chaste when they are still young. Is that the advice to them?
Whether chaste young or when they are old, we all have different scripts to run in this world. Marriage don't happen the same day for everybody born the same day. People in the same career don't marry the same day. People of the same age don't marry the same day. It's about you preparing yourself for the journey that lies ahead as a lady. As of today, in Nigeria, we have excellent female, well read, doing well in their career, and a good number of them are virgin. I can tell you that it is what you want that you go out for. There are still excellent ladies of marriageable age who are very, very decent. They are what? Very decent. We'll cut off the angle of virgin or no virgin. There are still very young ladies that are doing well in their chosen career, and they are very decent. They have not been masked with various secretions from various men. And as such, when they bear the fruits from their womb, trust me, the people will look like them or look at their husbands or possibly their close family relative who have the same gene line, not necessarily somebody from outside with another DNA. So, and when the baby is tested, the DNA will be the husband's.
Thank you so much, doctor. I want to ask this question concerning IVF treatment.
Okay.
Are there potential risks for the woman that comes for this IVF treatment when it comes to this DNA factor?
As far as fertility treatment is concerned, with regards to the possibility of any previous partner having anything to do, the secretions from previous male partner in the woman, if it has anything to do with the IVF treatment, nothing like that. At this point, your husband is the one releasing this sperm. The body secretion, the seminal fluid, other than the spermatozoa in the semen, is what we will separate. So there's no body secretion that's being transferred in any event. It's only the genetic material, which is the sperm, that is being used. If the woman, as expected, gets pregnant, there's no fear for the man of any kind. The DNA report will favor him 100%. And as far as the woman is concerned, just be sure. Because we see it is an IVF, trust me. Just be sure that when you collect sperm from home, when your husband is not around, oh, can we produce from home? It is your husband's sperm that you submit to the clinic. Of course, the clinic will make you sign undertaking that the sperm was not produced on site. And in the future, if there's any DNA discrepancy, the document is signed that was fired that the sperm was not produced on site. The husband quickly produced and went to the meeting, the board meeting. Oh, he's leaving for US today. He had to quickly produce and left. If they didn't want to produce in the clinic, but some couple cannot produce in the clinic for a fact. That's what we know. Some couple come into the IVF treatment unit and they find it difficult to produce sperm. But once they step out of the clinic, they get home, they produce. And sometimes their commitments and daily itinerary will not allow the two of them to come back again together. The wife brings the sperm alone. Just be sure that depositing and submitting your partner's sperm, such that when you get pregnant, there will be no ambiguity that can usurp or disrupt what you have been building. Of course, the clinic will tidy themselves up with paperwork to ensure you document that the sperm was produced off-site, that the husband did not produce in the clinic, and you, the female partner, is the one that delivered the sperm to us. So if the baby does now not look like your husband, and the DNA is found not to be your husband, the clinic will be completely absorbed of all responsibility. We will sort that and do the detailed explanation to your husband, not us. That's how it goes. Thank you.
Well, doctor has allayed our fears that the offspring does not look like you does not mean that it is not you. Your DNA test will prove that one out. Do follow us on all our social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on our website and visit also www.omegagoldenfertility.com. 24-hour helpline is available for you. Do call. Make your observations known. Ask your question. Someone is there to answer your call. Thank you very much. Doctor, let's move forward. You know, a
Sensitization.
lot of misinformation is going on around this DNA, microchimerism, and things like that. How do you advise people concerning this?
What you just talk about when it comes to the DNA and all that. There's no issue at all with the DNA. If it's the man's sperm that fertilized the egg that became the embryo and invariably the baby, the newborn, there's no DNA issues except the woman has some explanations to give. But when it comes to microchimerism and all that, it's a known phenomenon. The fetal blood cells, the DNA, free roaming DNA, can pass to the mother. That has nothing to do with anybody. It might later in the future breed any challenge in terms of disease to the woman and all that, but it has nothing to do with the baby. The baby will bear the father's DNA and it will have a healthy life. The essence of all this in this episode is just a cautionary measure, because research are coming out. And we are now seeing in our neighborhood that someone who dated somebody long ago, the lady now has a child with that resembles, that has physical traits as a man she once dated who did not impregnate her. Imagine that. The person worked with me before. Imagine that story. He was terrified when he saw the picture of the third born of his ex-girlfriend. Jesus, my wife must not see this. This was a woman that he never impregnated. But they had a great moment together. They had great memories together. So as far as the DNA is concerned, there are no issues. But when the woman enjoy the concept of exchanging men in the near future, we are beginning to get whisper that such non-genetic traits have been built, and we need to be careful, especially we, the ladies. The era where iPhone 17 Pro Max is all that gets you. iPhone 17 that you use and forget might create a problem you may not be able to forget.
Doctor, in rounding up this discussion, what is the takeaway for the women and for the men in this generation?
The takeaway of this episode, of all the episodes that were, this is quite intriguing. More importantly, that I have my own personal experience from my office, as lamented by one of my staff. The choices you make today as a young lady, your choices you make today as a lady who want to become somebody's mother, someone's wife, and want to be respected in that manner, is important as to what becomes tomorrow. The iPhone 17 Pro Max, the Samsung S24 that you want the guy to buy for you, that makes you give in, it will fade away. It will go to things of the past that people will never remember again. But their fears of that era might create a problem that you will never be able to solve, especially when you have a baby that look like your ex. Meanwhile, the baby's DNA is 100% your husband's. But inside of you, you know this baby doesn't look like your husband. The baby looks much more like one of your ex, because of the great memories you share together and duration of that experience. Let us take it easy. As much as we want to be involved, as much as we want to be elite and 21st century lady, run it slow. And the same thing goes to the guys. You are the one here, you are the one there. You are the one in the east, you are the one, you have two girlfriends in the east, you have two girlfriends in the north. You only have 3 or 4 girlfriends in Lagos, and you are not practically going to marry any one of them, don't be surprised tomorrow. You never really actually impregnated the lady, but the one of your ex might come back and say, I don't know how this happened. Look at my baby, look like you. My husband is asking questions, and you know my husband knows you. That's a big deal. Let us take it easy. We want to enjoy life. We want to explore. We want to show that we're macho men. Let's take it easy. Tomorrow, research findings that are coming out might prove this to be an actual phenomenon that's just been unraveled in mankind. It's already been seen in lower animals, and more importantly, in mammals. If it's been demonstrated in mammal already, then it's coming close gradually to human being, because we are mammals too. Pay attention and adjust yourself. That's my penny to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abraham Fasasi. You have been able to allay our fears concerning the DNA and microchimerism. Doctor has been able to counsel our young men and women, even in a low-tone voice, concerning the science that is unfolding and unraveling. You take heed to this counsel from Dr. Abraham Fasasi. I remain your host, Dayo Owe, on the next episode. Thank you.